All right, what's going on, everybody? I am the one, the only, the WOOKIE, joined here by the normal cast. We got Z.
Hey.
We have, I'm not sure who's next on the list. We got Drazcore.
Come on, guys.
We got Sheep, multiple backer numbers.
Multiple.
So much so he took out a third mortgage on his home. Crazy story. And Ewok is here from, I'm guessing, the seat of his car?
That is right. Hello, Keyforge family. It is so good to be here. Such great news. I could not miss it, but I am in the seat of the car.
All right. I don't have a why we suck at Keyforge, but remember, guys, if you want to send us why you suck, or tell us why we suck at Keyforge, you can always send those at archonscorner@gmail.com. Not only that, we have to get into all the hubbub today, because again, it's going to be a very long episode, and we got big plans this weekend for Kansas City. So, Z, tell us about the Gamefound. What's going on at Gamefound?
Well, I will leave the rest of the details to you all. I was just focused on the number that it hit. I literally had to go back and listen to our August 27th cast where I said I think it's going to hit $1.1 million. And then when it closed out at almost exactly $1.1 million, I was pretty proud of myself in that moment. Can't lie about it. That was great. I was super happy. In the original cast, I did say it would hit that much faster, but I had no idea it was going to be 15 freaking days or whatever. So yeah, right on the money, over $1 million, right at 1.1, based on the math, way back when. So yeah, I think that's a super success. But I feel other people probably have more to add about the Gamefound and how it all ended, and their hopes for the future than me. What are your thoughts?
Well, I was super impressed, right? So 1.1 million was higher than I predicted on the show. And what particularly impressed me about this was that we hit that mark without any stretch goals above 750K. In fact, once we hit, I guess, 600, we knew that other than the extra languages, the 3 extra languages, we weren't going to have any new stretch goals beyond that. And so there was definitely some thought that, hey, maybe it'll be slowing, maybe some worry, like, hey, maybe we will. Worry is not the right word. We're already doing great, but hey, it could have done way better had we had more stretch goals, and maybe we still could have. But this achievement, 1.1 million, is awesome. This sets up Ghost Galaxy to print a whole bunch of decks relatively quickly, right? Because they didn't say, hey, we're going to make a bunch of plastic stuff, or we're going to buy some stickers that won't arrive on time and send that out with you, right? They didn't suddenly add some more stuff, right? They stuck to what they knew they could do. And so I think we're in pretty good chance of getting our stuff when we're supposed to.
Did they set a date? Like a
so
hard
it does
date or
say,
no?
Yeah, so it says January on like Jan 2023 on the backer cards. It says somewhere in the information, I think it's like first quarter, so they're being a little less specific,
Little
there.
vague.
But I know it was Peterson had said at one point that he was hoping to be as aggressive as December, but realistically, once you ship and all that, January is potentially more realistic. But I think behind the scenes, he's trying to push his guys, see how quickly they can do things. And I think this could be a pretty good New Year gift.
I second that, Draz. I think it's going to be a great New Year's gift. But we had seen a hard date for January for US. We also saw February internationally, and I think that is huge news to be able to get it out. We also saw the video that was put for YouTube where they're actually producing decks.
Oh, we got to talk about that. Yeah.
That's a whole nother concept, but please know this is all phenomenal news. You hit on that we didn't have support basically for these stretch goals. You also had people in other foreign countries paying very, very high VAT tax, and still to hit 1.1 is phenomenal. I know, Z, I came in at 750, and I would much rather oversell. Like, I'm coming in under, and you guys blew it out of the water. And please know, everyone in the community, from the content providers who were doing content to support it, to Ghost Galaxy themselves, absolutely phenomenal. I was super impressed with 1.1.
Let's talk about the video. We got a little video from I believe it was on Ghost Galaxy's main YouTube page of them printing decks. He kind of took us, showed us how the meat was made, and we got to see some decks being printed. What did you all think of that?
I was super pumped. I think this this wasn't something we talked about on the show, but I was talking to a local about how I think that they're further along in the algorithm than what they're physically putting to us in print. Because every single article that you can go find and read right now has stuff about like the programmers working on the code, getting it ready. Hopefully, the Gamefound is successful. We can pay the programmers to get ahead of that. Like, it's all very skeptical about the future, right? It's actually very toned down. However, every time you go listen to anyone answer a comment or the Peterson interviews that we have out there now, it's all very much hinting at a more positive spin. So I think what they've been doing the whole time is just anything they put in print was like under promise with the intent on trying to over deliver, which is obviously the exact opposite of what we had before for the previous company, all the time. So I think that is the whole thing, and they had a lot of progress even before the they had a lot of this stuff already in the works and well in advance of even the Gamefound being out, which is super encouraging that we will possibly see for a Christmas retail release or pledge delivery type thing if they're already starting to print. But even though they're printing decks, they did say in the YouTube thing that this is algorithm at 80%, and we do know that they're testing right now. So obviously, any feedback from that testing isn't finalized anyway, because then that would have to be processed and put into the algorithm again.
There's one huge giveaway, right, that told me that this was testing, and that's the fact that there was no token symbol on the back of the deck.
No, it's there.
Yeah.
Was it?
It's not on the back of the Archon card, because the Archon card doesn't have it, but the regular card backs have it.
I didn't see any. I'm going to have to go back and look. I didn't see a 1, to be honest with you. I'm going to go look.
There.
I'm going to go ahead and say that for Chris Peterson, we have this great Kansas City event that's happening, and I'm fairly certain there's a few of us that would be okay to demo if you just send those decks down. We don't need a QR code or anything. We would be willing to test it out for you.
Show your ass up.
Because I see on the printing, when they're printing the sheets, I see them. But when he grabs this deck, I don't see it.
You don't see it because, again, what Sheep said, the Archon card itself will not have it. The other cards in the deck
card he
will.
showed?
Correct.
That's the only one he shows.
Well, also,
I thought he showed all cards.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I thought he showed marked cards, but it's been a long week, so.
A real chance that anything they're putting right now doesn't even have a QR code, isn't designed to ever even possibly be in rotation.
Yeah, we're cool with that.
They know it's not there. So I could well see, I would not be surprised if there is a real chance the stuff they're printing doesn't have all of the things in place.
Well, it's clear because their Coda reprint cards don't have actual art on them. They just have a art icon symbol.
Mm-hmm.
As it should be. All right.
I will say that it was super cool for all the Keyforge fans who are also watching and slowing down and going ahead and taking images of, this card's going to be in it. This card's going to be in it. This card. So that also helped to build some anticipation and some excitement for what is to be coming.
You know what else I learned?
What did you learn?
I learned that he's just printing it on an HP. It's like a big one. But, maybe I'll just pop some decks out of my Hewlett-Packard. What do you think?
I was going to say, you mean Hewlett-Packard?
Yeah.
Where did you see? What do you mean off of HP?
So when he pulls up the side of this giant printer, and you see the giant death wheel of ink cartridges in there. There's an HP logo.
Oh yeah,
on
there
the
is.
door.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
HP.
that's not a standard HP. You can't
Well,
like
it's
go
not
to your...
like my little photo in one
not quite.
situation. You don't think?
No,
I
just
need to
looking at the
run by Best Buy and
yeah. I don't think you can pick this up at your local Best Buy. I don't know.
Darn.
Call me crazy, but I'm pretty sure you can't do that. No.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that thing was big. That thing was pretty massive.
I was actually surprised at the size because I actually thought this was going to be a much larger production than it actually is. And then you look and you're like, oh, this is like somebody's storage locker that they have, when they have too much stuff. Like,
Well,
not very big.
When you're talking about that, Wookie, I'm like, man, we need to just talk to Hater and have him swing by because that did not look. Artiforge did not look secured. And again, another reason to stop by, say hi, and grab some decks for all of us to try
your face
out.
against that window.
I did see some. I did
blow
see some cards in the
on
back.
it.
Like, smush.
and then right backwards, ICANN has decks.
ICANN has decks. Oh boy, we're a weird bunch. That'll be what I tell people the next time somebody else is like, I can't make it to the show tonight. I'll just be like, yeah, they're off in Minnesota just stealing decks.
Yep.
Not a big deal.
Yep.
So
No, not stealing. We don't do that. We borrow.
Borrow.
We borrow, Wookie.
Is it borrowing if you have no intention of returning?
Yeah, Ewok, I'm coming to borrow your AOA decks.
Yeah.
Well,
let me borrow all your Heart of the Forest decks.
Oh God, let me borrow them right into the trash can.
Nope.
oh, you light them on fire.
No, yes, light them on fire. Definitely not sleeve them. We don't sleeve
So
them.
for Kansas City, can I bring French AOA and we can all play French AOA?
I mean,
Okay.
Do you read a lot of French?
We?
I mean, that's good enough for me. La Reap. I know what that means. All right, what do we got coming up next? Z, Reaper of Ember event. Archon's Corner Reaper event. What's going on there?
So yeah, we held the kind of Gamefound promotional event. All of the money went to purchase a Reaper of Amber pledge for the winner. We had 17 participants throughout the event. People had lots of fun. They were choosing decks in a shared pool that belonged to the 5 of us, which I have some numbers about that. Not a whole lot of data, just some. In the end, after the double elimination event, it ended up the top 2 being Zach Armstrong returning to the competitive scene along with Orion. So Orion is second and will be getting the Fuzzy Gruen from Sheep as the second place prize. And the first place prize will be the full Reaper of Amber pledge to Zach Armstrong. So welcome back to competitive Keyforge. Great playing. So each round, they can pick, the SASCAP raised each round, and they can pick any deck in the pool that we gave them, being the deck lists of all of 5 of our decks. So I have some numbers.
Okay.
So we're gonna start at the bottom. At the bottom, tied for 4th most used. So there are 8 selections in total. Players had to make 69 total deck selections. So tied for 4th, there were 8 Wookiee deck selections and 8 Ewok deck selections. So good job, you two. 8 people chose your decks.
Yay.
Now I want to look at what the percentage. So how many decks do we have that were chosen in comparison to you?
Oh,
That's
you don't want you
thing.
definitely don't want to do that because how many decks do you have, Ewok?
Not that many.
Well, do you know, like rough, like do you have at least 100?
Yeah. No, it's about 500.
Oh, you have a 500. So you're looking at like what, 2%?
Way to go, guys! Way to go.
Yep.
So yeah.
Hey, don't feel bad. I mean,
also
8 out of 100. That's pretty decent. I have way more than 100.
Ewok has 575.
There you go.
So yeah, 8. So we can do that on the fly. That's not a problem. 8 divided by 535, you're looking at 1.4% of your whatever deck selection.
Wookiee has 646.
Oh.
8 divided by 6. Again, 1%. So we're gonna move on to third place, which was Sheep. Sheep, how many decks do you have in DOK?
It's a very good question. 507.
Oh, that's not bad. It went down some. So that's 2.7%, almost 3%. I was second. And I had 18 selections made from my pool. I think I have 87.
87
So that is
now.
21% of my decks chosen at some point. Which that was slightly
how it works, but
yeah.
No. Because you have slimmed down. I have never removed a deck from
I'm
my
just
list
saying,
at all.
right now,
This is
I only own
shenanigans.
87 decks. That's all I
Shenanigans.
got. I'm not going to say
let's shame Draskor.
Draskor had
Shame.
21 selections and is
Yay!
number one most picked for the entire event. Draz, how many decks does Draz have?
A hair under 1,000.
996.
Ooh, that is
Wow.
just a hair under 1,000.
You need 4 more real quick.
Well,
so
I'm wondering if I should open my 1,000th at KC, do something, some fun or something like that. Yeah.
I am bringing recording materials, so we could open Drazkor's deck on YouTube for YouTube content.
That's 2.1%. So I think I win at the percentage, but they are right. At one point in time, I did have 2,000 decks, so that is what it is. I only have 87 left. But yeah, overall, I think the people had a lot of fun. And Zach got the win, and he has a pledge, and we supported the Gamefound the way it was meant to be done by playing Keyforge.
It was great to go ahead and have that support. I just want to know, was this sweaty Zach or was this just Zach?
The sweaty Zach.
Okay. Congratulations, sweaty Zach, on the win.
I popped in for very little bit, and I could hear the sweat coming from all participants.
Would you say it was dripping or more like pouring?
Oh man, I couldn't. It was a tsunami of sweat.
The only story I have from it is one player picked one of Ewok's Heart of the Forest decks.
Yay!
And got
smashed
by my double brig deck. So it was a good event.
Immediate karmic justice. I do gotta say one thing about these selection numbers. Even though mine says 18, Zach Armstrong won the event by picking one of my decks 4 rounds in a row. So that did happen. So 4 of those.
Wasn't this a SAS climb thing?
Yeah,
this was your jam. So
as soon as that Zach could pick a deck we call Smoke, it's a tie deck. He picked that every round from that point forward and won the whole event with it.
I think we're going to talk about that deck again later in this show.
Maybe. All right.
So let's go into Fire Sale.
Oh gosh, it's me again.
That's you again. Sorry, man. I mean, you're the runner. You and Dan run the events.
That's what I do. All right, so our top 16 finished up. We ended up with 2 features that are on the YouTube. You can find them now. There was the very last of the top 16 event was streamed yesterday night. That was a Tuesday, and that was done by Murph. It was a fun stream to watch. It went all the way to the 3rd game. But that is leading up to our final 8. So that's all I'm going to talk about now, because we will have another here's our top 8 show that we'll do right before we do the top 8. The entire top 8 will be live streamed, recorded, and posted to wherever the heck that goes. But we have Magnum Miles versus John Bieber as one of our buckets. And then we have Gorlami versus Dilly as the second bucket in the top 8. Then we have Throat Wolf versus Murph. And finally, there is Heimgraf versus D-Hoss. All of those are our top 8, so congratulations. You are in the prizing from Luxury Playstyle. So again, thank you from them all. Again, this was a free event. I reached out. Luxury Playstyle has been good about supporting our events all the way through from almost the beginning. It's been a long time now. But yeah, look forward to some great Keyforge. We're all going to KC, so none of that's going to start until after we get back.
Yep.
We'll start the top 8 streaming days, which we'll try to advertise in advance. We'll start them Wednesday of next week, and then see what player availability is like and who will be streaming which games.
And you can catch all the other games that we've had a few recorded, and I'm getting them up. I have most of them up already. They're just waiting to be released. But if you can't wait, you can go join our Patreon, and you can get them all early because they are all available to our Patreons as soon as I upload them. Kansas City. That is coming up. That's the reason we're going live on a Wednesday as opposed to a Thursday, because Kansas City is a thing that's happening on Friday that would put me in a pinch and a squeeze. And a lot of people have to get up really early on Friday, meaning we need to go to bed early on Thursday. Yada, yada, so on and so forth. So what are we? It's finally here. Are we all excited?
Yeah.
I'm super pumped. I missed out last year. We had just done live. They had reached out to me. I kind of helped them in the early talks and plannings of their event last year. But I had some family stuff come up, and I wasn't able to go, so I felt bad about that. Super happy I get to go, get to see you all, get to play some Keyforge, and really just experience the community again. Like, I don't care if I win anything while I'm there. I'm not going there for that. I'm going there to have fun, be with my people, you all, other people from the community, and just have a blast. Like, that's my thoughts and kind of expectations on the event. It's just go play Keyforge the way it was meant to be again.
Yeah. That's what I'm there for. I've already told you guys I fully plan on being hungover for Archon, so whatever that means, and then we'll see.
Oh, you're gonna get hungover for Archon? That's on
when is Archon? Is Archon day
it
1?
Starts right after we finish driving.
Yeah,
Oh,
you drive. You're pounding them on the way up or
Booze
down.
Cruise! I'm ready. That's why I'll be sleeping in the back. I mean, I can get a 6-pack for the road, right? No?
You get there.
I'm sure
like,
Ewok will be very supportive of that.
I'm sure he will be. All right.
I mean, we as Wisconsinites do have an issue, so Wookie, you can at least represent us a little better.
Oh. Nah. Maybe. We'll see.
Well, we do. So I do have a KC Thursday night party crew.
Oh, yeah, that's right, you do.
There Thursday. Yeah. So we're going to go out in downtown Thursday night. We got myself. We got X-Ray. We got both the Reds are going to be
JM
there.
who doesn't drink.
And we got Joker.
Oh, Joker. I'm sorry, Joker who doesn't drink.
Yep. Joker's a teetotaler, which I did not realize when I was like, let's go, Try Gang. And so Joker's going to watch us. Gonna be
my favorite is when you guys were in the chat and it was just you and Joker at the time, and you're like, "Yeah, I've already picked out all the good bars," and like, and Joker's like, "Yeah, I don't drink," and you're like, "Oh, you don't?" Like,
I like a long itinerary. I was like, "Oh crap! I gotta find some of those."
I gotta find something else. I gotta find something else to
drink.
Yeah, that would have been awkward. So I'm more excited for 2-deck survival. And we have no clue what we're playing, right? Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's resealed AOA.
It's gonna be a big box. You just reach your hand in and grab something, and that's
It's
actually Shredder. How crazy would that be? Sealed
Top
Shredder.
End OP Shredder. Let's go.
I'm in. Let's do it. Right?
Sealed Shredder. There would be people that would be like, "But I like this deck. I'm going to drop." Dude, I don't care what I
Shredder
open.
got a shred.
I would still play. I'd be like,
I'd do
Triple Time Traveler. Let's go shred.
Yeah. Oh, you shredded one of my time travelers. I have 2 more. It's okay. Oh, that was a 90 SAS deck. Whatever.
It's fine.
Still gonna be fun.
We're gonna have set rotation anyway.
That's
fine.
right. Yeah.
Well,
you guys are coming to the conclusion that there will be a Keyforge 2.0?
No,
I'm sorry.
No.
Set rotation, because it's different.
That's right.
I have to say, back on the Kansas City topic, I am super excited. I missed it last year because I was coaching, and when we did AC, we got to play some Shredder, but I honestly didn't get to play a ton of Keyforge. So it has been a while since I've been at a Vault Tour event or a high-level event or just playing in person. So I do have to shout out to Sheep, who invited me to his son's birthday and tried to teach me Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon.
Yeah, what the?
Pokemon, so that
You're
he
not
could
my
try
friend.
and he could try and mess with me before I actually play in person. But
He's
I'm
still gonna
very
draw
excited.
seven cards all the time now.
Yep.
It's gonna be funny.
It's gonna draw one on his draw phase that doesn't exist.
Yep.
No, but I'm very excited to be able to play in person, and we have a crew. I know that it was talked about earlier, but to see everyone here from our cast, plus so many people from the online community. If you haven't signed up, please just stop by. You can actually get tickets even that day of. So if it's within drive distance,
Yeah.
come play some Keyforge. It's going to be fun.
And come take pictures. Sheeps takes pictures. And he'll sign your Brobnar house.
Yep.
No,
That's what I'll do.
Yep. I only sign narcs.
Sign your bra.
Sign your bra.
Nar.
Nar.
I mean, still gotta get Christian Peterson to sign my ass.
There
So
you go.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, if you want sheep signature, you also have to sign his butt. So it's like a tit for tat type thing.
I'm
so
in.
much for having
Where do
a wholesome
sign up?
podcast here.
Where do I sign up? I'm in. Let me do it. Get the Sharpie. I'm ready.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it is quite wholesome.
Yeah, it's something, all right.
This is on the whole.
Yeah, it's yeah. Anyways, that's it's time for spoilers, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel bad. This is like a Wookiee pace cast. I think there should be more here.
There's always more, but like.
All right, here we go. Thank you for joining us for this part of the segment this week. We're about to go into spoilers. For those of you who are not going to stick around, catch us next week. For the rest that want us to talk about the new cards, I think we have 6 today. Let's go.
All right, starting out with Zephon, the Opulent. He is a Sanctum critter. He's a human, 2 power. Make 2 tokens. Zephon the Opulent cannot be used unless there are 2 or more friendly token creatures in play. He also has the Reap ability, gain 2. I think we talked about him. No, we haven't talked about him.
I think we have.
I think we have 2. It sounds very familiar.
I think we have.
I think we talked about this. I'm sorry.
He might have been like at one point he might have been a blurry image, but now he's not.
Yeah, I think we did. We did talk about this one.
Talking about if there's any play or any use from house card stuff,
right.
He'll be pretty good.
I mean, again, I think like I said, we already said this. You're generating 2 tokens from hand. He's gonna die every time. You're probably never using this Reap ability.
Probably not.
But just being able to play 2 tokens from hand is above average, and we actually know that now because I think when we originally talked about it, we weren't sure because we just didn't have a token information. We do have token information now. So this is an above average low card. And honestly, most Sanctum cards suck. So this might literally be the best Sanctum card in the set.
I don't think that's true.
Well, no, we got another one to talk about, right?
So this card is pretty good, right? Because it's only him who might not be able to reap, and if they don't kill him, all you got to do is play 1 more token creature the next turn because they don't have to be ready or anything, right?
Yeah, no, they just have to exist.
So it's pretty good. So let's just skip to this other token
we're
maker.
not gonna. Oh no, we got one before the other token maker.
Just go right to Guild Spine School.
No, because I love him. He's my new favorite.
When you're looking at Zephon, I don't know. I guess the piece is it makes 2 token creatures, so there's a benefit right there, and it simply says Opulent cannot be used unless there are 2 or more friendly. So your other option, instead of killing them, which is easy to do, you're going to go ahead and just hit 1 of the token creatures. I mean, you don't. But you had said earlier they need to make another one. You don't. You just need to keep both of them alive.
If he was an action that just said make 2 token creatures, would it be good?
Yeah,
we've already seen
average from what we've seen.
Yeah. So, all right, let's talk about my new favorite. I love him.
Guild
I love him.
School.
No,
Chaos Don.
10 power. He is from the Saurians. Splash attack, which every person on this podcast told me that wasn't a thing that existed. I'm looking at you, Ewok. Splash attack 3. When this creature attacks, also deal 3 damage to each of the attacked creature's neighbors before fight. Deal 3 damage to each of Chaosodon's neighbors.
Yeah, so this is a new
mechanic.
It is new. Yep.
So
it is and it isn't, because Pterodactyl has a very similar ability that just didn't have the splash attack name.
Yes,
Well-
but it is definitely different, and the timing is
Yes.
Well,
Little
that's
different.
what I got an argument about someone on our channel because our channel has exploded as far as like how active it's been recently.
Good job, everyone, on that.
Yeah, that's great. The thing here is that we don't actually know the timing of this. The only ruling that we have for the splash effect is what it said before. And it says when an ability, like splash means when an ability does damage, it also damages the neighbors. So we don't actually know if this is supposed to happen before the fight damage or as part of the fight damage, because the old wording of splash damage would imply that it happens
Before
when the
fight.
fight damage. No, it happens when the fight damage occurs, because that was what the splash said before. If this is supposed to be before fight, that is a ruling that we are going to have to get from GGG.
I'm sure we'll get a ruling, but I mean,
Well, but Pterodactyl says before fight,
yes.
and so that's why. But I think the before fight on Chaosodon, deal 3 to each of Chaosodon's neighbors is a negative, because that's going to happen first, and then depending on where the ruling is for splash attack, I honestly hope that it comes earlier.
Well, the biggest thing is whether, like, the main thing this means is if the current iteration of what Splash was stays in effect, this does not get around elusive.
Yes, it does.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it wouldn't unless they change what Splash said
elusive says
the first time this creature is attacked.
The first time a creature with an elusive keyword is chosen to be fought each turn, it is dealt no damage and deals no damage to the opposing creature in fight.
So because this actually says the word attacked, that does. So yeah, I think you're right, Sheep. That does answer the question. It has nothing to do.
It's literally he's attacked. He declares his attack, and then each of the neighbors takes 3 damage. I mean, timing is still of the thing, but I'm pretty sure that it still gets around elusive.
I'm pretty sure it does too.
Yeah.
So but we still don't know the exact timing, whether it is after the fight or before, because of the past tense of attacked, right? That matters way less.
And attack and fight is weird because they use those words sort of interchangeably.
Yeah.
But not always.
But not always.
Yeah.
I still think there does need to be a ruling from them as far as the exact timing window this is happening. Because while 99% of the time it's not going to matter whether you do it before the fight or after the fight, as long as it's hitting them, but sometimes it will matter.
Either way, move over Blorb. This is my new plushie. I loves him. I loves him so much.
It's just way too awkward to be like that would be another miniature or maybe like a Lego.
Lego.
A Lego.
Like, come on, Keyforge Legos, let's go. New opportunity.
That's
and this card does come in as an uncommon for those who care. So you can have multiples.
This is a 10 power creature with nearly no downside. What's going on?
Well, yeah, I was about to say this. We have a 10 power creature that can reap without penalty. There is no penalty here. Like,
which can I give a shout out to Amber Mades for that amazing Brobnar video?
That was epic.
If you guys have not seen it, go watch it. It is well worth it. Just the philosophy behind the creation of Worlds Collide Brobnar. But that made me laugh this week. And yes, there is no downside with Chaosodon.
Oh, there is. With that before fight, right?
It's a before fight, but if you don't have any creatures, I mean, if you don't have your own creatures out, it's there. You're right, it has a negative. If you're reaping, it has no negative.
Which we all know reaping is superior to fighting.
Sure.
Most of the time. Well, and even you control your battle line. So, like, yes, it says it deals damage to 3, like, of both neighbors. Like, you
keep on
for the most part, have almost all of the control over whether he has 1 or 2 neighbors. Right, like you choose that to happen or not. So like the worst thing, he deals 3 damage to 1 of your other creatures, and then wrecks face on the other side of the board because this is a lot of damage, and it doesn't come into play stunned. Thank freaking goodness.
Yeah, I don't know if we mentioned it, but he doesn't have that typical limiter all other big dinosaurs have of only does 4 fight damage.
Yeah.
He does 10 fight damage.
Because our previous set equivalent is Gladiodontus and Pterodactyl, and this is like 100 times better than both of those. Oh,
yes.
Still dies to removal, but I love him.
Yeah,
He's
everything dies to removal.
At least they're listening when we said these big creatures with their stun are just not impactful enough to matter. This guy maybe will.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, for sure.
Should we go on to Z's new favorite card?
Shut up.
The Glint Spine
I will
School.
not read this one.
It is a 1 power 5 armor Aquan from the fish family. Play, make 3 token creatures.
What? 3?
Yeah. Token creatures do not ready during their controller's ready card step.
Wait, what?
So those 3 new tokens that you just played are possibly meaningless.
Exhausted. So, what
They're sleepy.
Do like about this, though, is it's both players. So, potentially in a very low token generating deck, this becomes a better card and set because it can lock out your opponent's tokens.
But sure, wall versus wall.
None of us are dreaming of that style of play. So this is so slow to deal with unless you have in-house either ability to just kill them, bounce them, archive them, flip them over and turn them into a token. That'd be fine too. But there's got to be some way to instantly get rid of this piece of junk.
Can the fish get a card that isn't just bleh?
No.
Well, I mean, there is about like they just have so many. Like the fish constantly get these cards.
I mean, at rare, was it too much to ask for it to be one-sided? For it just to say your enemies?
That's the exact spot I was going, Wookie, is like, I would have loved to have seen this one-sided. It is a rare, though, so that's a benefit that you shouldn't see it too often.
But, okay, so not seeing it too often is not a good thing. You still open
it. That's the best thing right now.
Right. I mean, that's the upside. At rare, could this not just be like, hey, token creatures your opponent controls do not ready during their ready card step.
And generate 3 tokens, that would be probably actually too good.
Dependent on the token that your opponent has.
Well, seeing what's there for Unfathomable already, I'm not super excited, so I would have been fine seeing the 3 token creatures.
This is almost Worlds Collide Brobnar bad thus far.
I don't know, I'm just thinking of getting 2 copies of them in a deck.
I just don't understand why that second sentence is there. Like, we all know how bad-ish, well, no, just bad. The fish are really bad in Dark Titan, so going forward, for them to be viable, they need a huge upswing. And would it really have been that big of a deal for them to just say 1/5, play, make 3 token creatures, call it a day? And then they decided to put this other tag on here that, like, I think they were trying to be clever about this wording, the static effect, but the problem is they're just trying to be more clever than they are.
Well, this is still, probably some FFG hangover, because FFG was always like, oh, this card, is it too good? We'll give it this massive downside.
NARP effect.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to call Amber Mades. Shout out to you. We need a video on House Unfathomable.
Especially for DT. Like the whole, it was just
Can I just put in there, like, they suck. Ding, done. Video over. No? That's not.
And again, GG, if you're listening, if you're tweaking stuff, just remove the damn sentence from the second part after the play effect. Please, like, whatever.
Or either go one way or the other. Just make it so no creature's ready during the ready card step. And now we have, like, a weird, awkward scenario where nobody readies.
I've just locked out this whole game.
Yeah.
Good job, me.
Yeah, I'm in.
See, I would have actually liked that way more than this.
I mean, if you're going to go all in. Make it Heart of the Forest. I mean, us troll players need cards too, please.
Who spoiled
troll players?
Who spoiled these 2?
I have not a clue. I just found an article that it was in, written by at Charlie L. Hall. Charlie Hall. It's in the article. Both of them actually are in the article. Both Cassadon and Glenspine Mongrel. I don't know if they're actually
Polygon.
Is it Polygon?
These were from the Polygon article.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Should we go to him to Turok? I mean Duma?
Him to Duma.
Him to Duma. Anybody who gets that reference, 1,000 points to Gryffindor. No? All right. All right. Him to Duma is an artifact. It's a power. Each friendly creature gains Omni. Destroy this creature. A friendly creature captures 2. This could get pretty busted.
And it's uncommon.
If you get, I keep wanting to call him Scout, but if you get Prospector, I'm just going to pop my Prospector, draw me card, and capture 2.
Sounds fair.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of talk about this card, and it's just value as potentially a ton of capture. But the discussion that I was revolving around on this card that makes it so much better is its other hidden versatility effects, which this is like a super powered Obsidian Forge. Right? Obsidian Forge had some really cool combos where you can kill your own red pennies, you kill your own Harbinger of Doom. Yep. There's a bunch of other stuff you could kill with it that was very powerful. Brabbles, if you needed that spot amber control, that gave decks a lot of interesting versatility, but you still had to be in Dis to do it. This, everything's Omni. So just any creature can be like, nah, I don't need to be here no more. Bye.
Yeah. It's really good when you're facing opposing a Quixelstone deck. It allows you to constantly cycle the creatures you have on the board if you need to get to play effects. The thing that I brought up in the chat is this is also automatic stun removal all the time for all of your creatures.
Yeah.
Because this gives them all an ability. It doesn't matter what the Omni effect is. The Omni effect is going to fail. So if you have a stunned creature that is off house, you can try to trigger the Omni ability. The stun will get removed, and you go on with your life. So basically, it nerfs all of your opponent's stun, and it is just exhaust from that point forward. So that is a really neat effect, and it also combos with that other artifact we talked about not too long ago. The one where, like, if you reap, your next creature cannot be used to reap. So you could reap, kill somebody, reap, kill somebody, and get around that, like, reap lock that we discussed. So it has multiple iterations of what it can and cannot do. And then the obvious, like, keeping your opponent off their last key is the deciding factor in a ton of games, whether you win or lose. And this can do that.
Yeah, the Omni part is crazy.
Yeah, I like the...
Oh, I didn't think about this before earlier. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like scaling in any house, basically, when you need it. Right now it's capture, so it's really only highly useful for the third key to stall the game. But if you have... We don't know how many ways to destroy captured Ember we're going to have. So depending on that, it could be more valuable there as well. We'll see. But I like this. I like this card.
We haven't seen a board wipe yet, have we?
We have
one. Yeah.
Mass buyout.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Before we move on, I want to talk about before I'm going to just forget about it. Like, I just realized this Him to Duma combos with Berserker. Because if you're not in the Brobnar house, when you play the Berserker tokens, they come in ready, and they immediately have an Omni effect. So when you go to use the Omni effect, they cannot fight. So you could actually sacrifice Berserker tokens.
Can you if it's because it comes in enraged?
Doesn't matter.
Isn't enraged?
That's what I'm explaining right now. They can't fight because you're not in that house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if I'm in my 2 off houses, I make my ready Berserker,
but
I can Omni this ability.
Omni still needs you to exhaust the creature, does it not?
Yeah.
It is
Berserkers
ready.
come into play ready.
Right. But I wouldn't be able to then use them if I'm in off house.
No. Enrage just says you must fight if able. Omni says during a turn you can exhaust this creature to do the Omni effect.
Yep.
Omni lets you house cheat.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I forgot that for a minute earlier today too.
Berserkers are actually really, really good with this artifact in deck. It allows you a lot more Amber control in all of your house, except for Brobnar.
You're saying Sanctum Brobnar meta. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, technically, you should be able to create a big board, but honestly, I think this card is really good. This actually is the best Sanctum card we've seen.
Yeah,
but almost every other card sucks.
Yeah, I will second this, that this is the best Sanctum card I have seen with it being untamed. I just like the first component. Each friendly... Uncommon. I thought that's what I said, but uncommon. But for me, the beginning of what's the characters or each creature gains, each friendly creature, that means that if you're up 3, I can go ahead and have 2 of my friendly creatures just destroy. And I'm capturing 4 because each friendly creature gains this. I think that is an often missed statement, is this isn't just once per turn.
Yep.
Yeah. No, this card is this. I think the hidden versatility is where this card's really going to shine.
Yep.
All right, Magistrate Crispus, 8-powered dinosaur from the Saurians. At the end of your turn, each player takes control of each creature and artifact they own.
Okay, so why is this thing 8 power?
Why not?
Because dinos.
Oh, okay, but like this. So as we were laughing about his Brobnar video, Amber Meaty's Brobnar video, he did do a dinos video, and in it he was like, he's like, okay, so we're making all these dinos with these crazy effects, and they're like, oh yeah, so they'll be like 3-4 power, and he's like, oh no, they all got to be 5s or 6s, right? Because all the dinos are huge.
Yep.
And the 8 freaking power with, interesting ability, but just like what he's got absolutely no downsides to being an 8 power creature.
And it's a politician. They did actually make most of the politicians small. They're 4 power in Worlds Collide.
Yeah. Well, so power creep is a real thing in this set.
Yay!
Like literal power creep.
Literal power creep.
Yay! I'm excited.
That said, I'm not excited about this card.
Really? I think this card with half of that. Well, so it just like takes half of the cool things that Equidon House is doing and being like, nah, I get to ignore it. Meh.
Like the trader. Yeah.
Yeah, they've had several, and then they had the play from hand card. They had the trade creatures card, and then the exchange officer kind of card. But
out of set, this does almost nothing. It's just an 8 power Reaper, which again, that's better than most Brobnar cards ever have been. Given.
So Borrow and Snecklifter, like those are popular cards.
Borrow and Hawk are real things. Yeah, well, Borrow and Snack. Yes, yep. Borrow and Snack.
I don't know. I
don't think you're going to get as much
my
use
first
out
choice.
of the ability.
No. But he's okay. In niche situations, he'll be okay, right? Like, who knows? Like, in set 14, when steal other people's cards is the meta, this will suddenly be amazing, right?
Right. When Keyforge 3.0 comes up.
This card, although at face value doesn't necessarily win games, it is going to win certain games where the opponent has stolen important stuff. And being a rare, it's just one of those things that's in your deck. It's not like you're going to have 4 of them. You're like, wow, this is doing nothing. I mean, there's a lot of other rares you can get that are like this too, where like 1 in every 20 games you play, it does something, and the rest of them is just a mediocre card.
I mean, his ability is nothing to write home about. I mean, yeah, he's going to have some, every now and again, he's going to have some utility. I think you're more looking at that's an 8 power body on the board. Tough to remove, can kill something pretty easily. I mean, this just fights into Val Jericho and she just dies. And he lives. So, I mean, it is going to take care of problem creatures. It's probably going to reap for a couple, so that's probably more of the ability, more of where he's going to be played.
Yeah.
This would give their Scowly Keeper back to them. That's kind of funny.
It would do that. Yep. It would give their exiled creatures back to them.
And what's that artifact like when you use it, you purge their creature, but you have to give it to them?
The Spangler box.
Oh, I
so
was thinking
if they have Spangler box, you would not play this creature because they would get it back every turn.
Yeah.
What's
well,
the
but
other
they still
one?
gotta go Logos to use it.
I'm drawing a blank. What's the one? It's not the priest. What's the one? Fish people. I put all the creatures underneath him. General something.
General Sherman.
General Sherman.
But they're purged, so
they're
this
considered purged still.
Yeah.
I was trying to be creative.
I don't know, but after they have stolen your Hymn of Duma with Borrow, you'll be happy to have this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially if you count on that Omni Sacrifice as part of your deck because you have good sacrifice creatures.
Yep.
So, I mean, like, this guy will be good in some occasions, but he's definitely not a meta definer.
No. All right, let's move on to Envoy of we don't know. You kind of screwed this up.
Fuzzy.
This is a pretty blurry card.
So it is a 5-power creature from Equidon. I'm assuming he's the ear people. I don't remember what Getty Rukin or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I also think it says politician.
I do see politician as well.
That's kind of what it looks like, politician, but he has a reap. Maybe politician. All right. Anyways, reap. Oh, this is all screwy. What did you do here?
Reap. It says reap.
It says, yeah, it's underneath it. So
reap, swap envoy of with one of its neighbors. Also swap all ember, damage, counters, and upgrades on those creatures.
Why?
Yeah.
Like,
it's I don't
understand
what do you do
the value in this.
We have not seen the card unless there are more negative upgrades coming. If there's more access denieds and the you can't fight ones coming, or cards like that.
I mean, or he just sacrifices himself for a critter you want to keep around or need to keep around.
Yes.
You know, he eats the damage, and
it is important that it's not May. It definitely, I can read it enough to see that it is not May. It does have to do this. So there's a real chance that this is just supposed to be a penalty.
Maybe.
For a 5-power.
I don't think so. I think this is
5-power merchant creature. This is the largest merchant creature we've seen, right?
Well, ... Maybe.
Well, for 5 seconds, it is.
Because the next creature we're going to talk about is a little bigger.
Yeah, this card, I'm with you, Z. I don't see what its purpose is yet.
Yeah, I can't really think of a single use case for this. That is not normal.
Let's hope it's rare, and let's hope it's
That looks uncommon to me, but I guess it could be rare.
Let's hope it's rare and not worry about it because it's. I mean,
I would just shove it up with that queen cat that I can never remember what it does because it doesn't ever matter.
Yep, or that awful Mars creature.
Zorg?
All of them, you mean?
Hey!
No, I like Mars.
No, they're 10-power piece of junk.
Oh.
Grommet?
Yes.
I mean,
it could be a Grommet. Yeah, it's nowhere near
obviously better
bad.
than Grommet because you can reap with it. But...
Pit Lord.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Okay.
Speaking of 10 power.
Yeah.
10 power.
Next up, we got Belligerent Guard. It is a 10 power. I'm going to guess that says beast. Creature.
Giant. It's a giant.
Is a giant from also Equidon. Play. Belligerent Guard enters play ready. Play.
Sweet.
Your opponent draws a card. Yeah. Have a critter for an ember?
I kind of like it. 10's a lot. You're probably reaping one more time at least after this play. So you're gaining 2 amber to give your opponent a card. I'll take that trade. It's also 10 power with legit no fighting penalty. Ha Brobnar.
Yep. So the power creep carries, right?
Why are the Equidons doing what Brobnar does better than Brobnar?
Well, if you look at the picture, this is like an army. This is the merchant army that they are hiring. So, like, somehow they went out and hired an army of giants that is pretty much better than all of the giants.
What if they're just giants from Brobnar?
I mean, multiple of them?
Why not?
That's fine. I just don't. Well, why do these ones come in ready and not enraged, but theirs do?
I don't know. All I'm saying is Shadow Self is losing value versus this set because there is several things.
A lot of stuff that can just
kill it now. Yeah, just 9 power.
Well, like even our old tried and true 6/1 taunt, 6 taunt hazard 2, 5 taunt hazard 3. It will kill them and live with 1 use from hand. Like that is really, really good.
I mean,
and then the creature before that, your envoy could reap, take all 8 damage from it, die, and then the guard still has 10 health. There's your single use case.
Potentially looks like it could be a common. I guess it could be uncommon too.
It's super hard to see that. It's not rare, is all we know for sure.
Yeah, pretty sure it's not rare. Could you imagine? Yeah. I don't know. How would you feel about getting like 3, 4, or 5 of those in a deck? That's a lot of draw.
Yeah, I mean, in a good deck, the value of 1 card should be higher than 1 Ember. So you are giving your opponent something tangibly good. Now you have the decision, right, as to what to do with this thing, right? So if you just reap with them, it's still you get an Ember, so that's good. But you have the option to reap, you have the option to fight, you have the option to.
I have the option to get my 17 Ember that you've stolen from me and put on 1 card back immediately.
Yeah. You have the option of him to Duma him on play, right? So you have options.
Well, that's why you play 4 of these, and then you play the card that makes it where they can't play cards.
Oh, there you go.
Perfect. Deck crafting with Z. All right, let's move into exchange program.
Yep.
That's what it looks like to me. You get a Pip of Ember every time you play it. It is an Equidon action. Play, choose a friendly flank creature and an enemy flank creature. If you do, swap controls of those creatures.
This one, I mean, like, we've had plenty of take an enemy creature effects. This one is exile and one of those kind of built into one. So I omni all of their amber onto my last creature, and then I swap it with something.
I was going to say, isn't this just exile, kind of?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does that effect, and there is capture in this set, so this card is definitely going to perform exile-type duties, and then you get to give them potentially your crafty token.
I will put all of my Ember on this 2 power or 3 power token, and I will take your belligerent guard and then smash face.
The other thing that I think is interesting on this card for what it is it doesn't change houses of anything. So this is another card where you can give them a house they don't have, and then depending on how many house affecting cards there are in this set, like we know there's the 1 bad generate 2 creature one, generate 2 token ones, which I mean that one's just bad, but then you can pick this house that is worthless to them because they have a creature from it. So it has that kind of effect, but it also presents that option for you because you get to steal. But like the way it generally goes is you get to choose what's on your flank, and then through whatever crafty play you have, you can kind of choose their flank creature. So usually they're getting something bad and you're getting something good.
Yep.
So this should be a really strong card.
There's a bunch of stuff you can give them that just doesn't mean anything. There's a ton of tokens you can give them. It doesn't change the house. They'll be completely useless to them. There's a token that captures Amber when it comes into play. If you give them a strange shell, the only action it has is it returns to their hand, which would then come to your hand. So, Yeah, there's tons of things that this is just purely good for your side because you generate a token, give them a token, you get what you wanted.
Yeah, this is in some ways a better Exile.
It's good.
I'm super stoked about the next card also being a common.
This one's definitely a common, which makes me think that other card is not a common.
No.
Guard is an uncommon. I think
I think Guard's an uncommon.
Yeah.
Next card.
I can accept that.
Next card, Shopping Spree, also from Equidon. They're becoming the logos of this set. Action. Play. Discard your hand. Draw a card for each card discarded this way.
Yeah, we've been talking about this one since it showed up in some of the discords, and not a ton of excitement. Like it's okay.
It's fantastic.
No, it's not.
It's pretty good.
I like it.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I think it's decent. I'd take it, but it's not amazing.
I think it's amazing, especially if your token is Scout and you have certain combo cards with it. Because if you have Scouts as your token and then you like mass buyout and then play this, you're gonna draw a whole bunch of cards.
This card has, and it has more utility, but it has similar feel to me as the Omega Draw 5 card from Logos in the last set.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's going to do really good things, and sometimes it's just going to do nothing because you play it and you just drew your hand anyways. Because, like, at best, I mean, given standard situation where you don't have a ton of extra draw all the time or whatever, like you play this card and then you're only going to have 5 more cards in your hand to discard, and that's assuming you have no other Equidon cards in your hand, and then you draw 5 more cards. So you know, like what you're saying, you're supposed to get 1 1/3 Equidon cards back if it all works out right.
Right.
But we all know we've played Punctuated Equilibrium more than enough times where you draw nothing.
But Punk is still considered a very good card.
Punk hits your opponent's hand and has huge disruption that this does not have. I think this card potentially, and I guess because you lose 1 draw every time, but multiple copies of this could really power cycle a deck.
Yeah.
Because like if you played this, discarded 5,
and
drew
it's
4,
common.
Played it, and did that for 3, like you're gonna have thinned out so many of your Equidon cards from your deck. It should be good.
I mean, I think one of the other reasons it could be good too is because of the again, I don't agree with the decision, but like if the token of the deck is merchant token, meaning that there are more token generation in this house and you have these cards, you're going to want to come back to it anyway, to the point where you're making a bunch of tokens from this house.
Yes.
You're cycling to more of these in this house. So you create the scenario where you are calling the merchant house like 60 to 70% of the game. And that's further compounded by it's a rare. But if you get Ambit Rage where your hand size is 7 cards and your token is the merchant house token, which means you're generating the most tokens from merchants, you're going to have like decks that just want to call the merchant house the whole game. And that doesn't matter if it's Prospector or whatever. It gets better if it is, but like that is a scenario that creates like that makes this card real good. If you're generating a bunch
this
of
card still could have lived with an Amber Pip.
Yeah.
I think it would have been too good if it had an Amber Pip.
I don't think so, because this card isn't as good as Lethalogica.
Well, I mean, I'm not. Lethalogica is just busted, so yes, it's good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, in some ways, this card is a little bit like Helmsman Spears, where you're cycling hand, but Spears, you have to stick to the board and then reap, but then you get to choose. So there's trade-offs between them. You know, with Star Alliance,
I really like this card. I really do.
Yeah,
I mean, it can possibly power you out of a bad 2/2/2.
Yep.
I
or
think
it can be a discard because you're holding your Amber Control card in your hand and you can't afford to play it.
But that's true of any card that draws you cards in this game.
No, that is not true.
Well, okay.
It's true of anything that makes you discard your whole hand, which there's like 2 cards in the game that do this.
Which I believe most of them are in the same house, are they not?
Well, no, there's this, and there's Punctuated Equilibrium.
Oh, well,
right?
Yeah.
That, like, make you discard your own hand?
Right.
There ain't much.
Cave.
Yeah.
Okay, Screaming Cave, thank you.
I dig it.
I don't know. I think it's fine. And it will be good in, like, that situation where Z was talking, but it will also be where, like, Equidon is your bad house in Sealed, and, like, it just gets you to your bad cards fast. I don't know.
Like, I don't think, like, basically my scenario where I like to see this card is what I said. If the token in the deck is the Merchant House token and also not the Strange Shell, because that means the algorithm overrode it to be there. But if it's any of the other 3 tokens, I think it's a good card. If it's not, probably slightly below average, because mathematically it is not going to go well on average.
All right, the next card we're going to kind of blow through. You can't really see much, and it doesn't really do much. So it's a 4-power creature of some sort from Mars. It does have the enhanced mechanic of a draw and 2 damage pips. So
I'm pretty sure it's 2 armor. Like, you can see it enough.
You think?
Yeah, 4 power, 2 armor.
Okay.
And
that's nothing to...
That's nothing to say
about.
Yeah, like, I'm looking at it real close. I'm pretty sure that's a 2.
So
4 power, 2 armor, enhanced 2 damage and a draw. We talked about this a long time ago in MM as far as, like, the valuation of these cards. We projected that stuff like this would, on average, be good and above average value. I think we've thoroughly proved that through and through in MM. This is an above average card. If this is uncommon, that is a huge value bump for Mars, but it is way too fuzzy to
see. Guess. I don't know if I agree, because, like, I don't like getting the 3 damage pip creature in Shadows. I hate that damn card.
You were wrong back then too.
I'm still not wrong, because you end up having to play those. I mean, okay, if you have a good auto encoder deck, so you can just discard all your junk enhanced creatures that don't do anything.
But this is a 4/2.
That's what I was coming back around to. Like, in MM, a lot of those creatures were bad. Yeah. That one in like, I still hate that stupid Pixie. Like, the 2 Amber Pips is nice, but that Pixie card in your deck is like, it's like another Toad to me. I hate it.
The attendant sucks to draw, but mathematically the value is still good.
This card, because he's a 4 something, just makes him better.
I'm pretty sure it's a 2. There's no way it's a 1, and there's no way it's more than 2.
Oh, it's 12.
Well, there you go.
Just never dies.
But I do like to see the drop it, because then you feel like in some way he cycles himself.
Yeah, he replaces himself in an efficiency standpoint. Like, I think
a couple of damage. So I like this one more than some of the ones from.
And this is another one. I'm confident that I'm fairly confident it is not rare, but it's too blurry to tell what it is.
Yeah.
Even at uncommon, this is pretty good.
I like this next one.
What we got?
This next one's called Clone Home, which is an action card from Mars. And it says, make a token creature. If there are more friendly creatures than enemy creatures, archive Clone Home.
Which is an odd phrase. Normally, I automatically read that card as if there are more enemy creatures than friendly creatures. Like, just automatically did that.
I'm with you, Wookie. I had seen this before, and I assumed it did exactly what you just said.
Yeah, and I'm like,
it is not a catch-up card. It is, I'm leading, and I'm going to keep leading.
Yeah, that is definitely a keep the gas flowing, because I totally read that as if there are less friendly creatures, and I'm just like, well, you're already behind, I guess.
Yeah, this is another one, like, you probably want Mars tokens with it.
Yep.
So then you just come back, use that Mars token, and then get another Mars token, and then just continually make Mars tokens forever.
Like, guys, if they really do keep to what they said, I think we're going to have a large percentage of decks that are just Mars decks. Like, right? Like, I know they said it doesn't guarantee it. It just the ratio shifts. But we have seen a lot more token generation in Mars, which makes sense because they're, like, invading. than any other house. So if they do stick to that, to any kind of fidelity, like there's just going to be more Mars decks than anything else. Like,
do I want to see key abduction, or even if they won't give us key abduction,
Total Recall.
The Total Recall, yes, thank you.
20 Amber. Let's go. Amber gets to play all those cards.
Yeah.
Like, I want Total Recall to be in the set so damn bad.
Yep.
TMTP? Oh, sorry.
So this card is, I think this card is fine. This is another one where when I think of this card, I think of the decent Unfathomable card from last one, the Tide Razor that they had.
I do think this one needed a pit. Then it would be like Portal level, like the Dark Titans Portal thing.
And Portal was good, like multiple copies of the Portal. This looks to be a common again.
Yeah, it is.
So multiple copies of this could be something.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, this is just every time you call Mars, you're like, if you get 4 or 5 of these, every time you call Mars, you make 5 tokens. Like,
that right there is like game winning. The problem is it's very hard with token generation to get them in the right spot, because you might turn them into tokens while making tokens. Like that weird anti-efficiency of creating tokens. So if it's going to be interesting to see how that plays, where you can't control what you lose,
unless you have Strange Shell, and then you're in the money.
All right.
That lets you look at the top card of your deck and throw it away, the Omni one.
Oh, that would be great too.
Yeah. Let's move into Cleric. It is your token, well, one of your tokens from Sanctum. It is 1 power. After Cleric enters play, capture an Ember. Stall mechanic, right?
So remind me, when it's stated like this, it means the Cleric's capturing the Ember.
Yes.
Because they would say on another or on any creature if it wasn't any.
No. Just capture a number. You get to choose.
So. I don't think so.
Says just capture on a play. You just get to, or play reap. Just capture 1 number. You get to choose where it goes.
No. Frayne specifically says a friendly creature.
Oh, does she?
What's the worthless one that does play from Coda? I'm really tired tonight, so my ability to think is bad. I know the card exists.
Reading Night.
Yep. Thank you.
It just says capture 1.
Yeah, and that we know captures on itself.
Which exactly
these are going to capture
that,
on themselves. Yes, okay.
I assumed that initially until we had asked. I mean, ultimately, Amber Control is great. Extends the game.
I mean,
it's one power, not elusive, no armor. So it's going to be answered by everything immediately.
Right. But, I mean, if you need that 1 turn, which tons of games come down to, how could I just stall you for a turn?
But there is the whole effect that if they don't have particularly good creature control, or they haven't drawn it, right?
Yeah.
Every fight to get an Amber back is a reap that didn't happen.
True.
Like, truthfully, they're almost better reaping and regaining that Amber and waiting for their creature control to come around than ever fighting. Assuming they have creature control and you're not just going to reap your clerics to, attack. But, like, this card seems like it should be pretty strong for what it is.
I think ultimately it'll be pretty good. Its true value is, like, 1. This is a Sanctum card, which means you'd have to have Sanctum in your deck, which sounds bad. And then 2, we don't know if Doorstep's reprinted yet. If Doorstep is reprinted, this is a lot better.
Yeah,
or Curia.
Yeah. If Curia is reprinted, that's a freaking amazing combo.
I mean,
straight up.
Not a great combo, but I mean, no, you can't do that. Never mind.
If Curia is reprinted, that's really, really, real good.
Yeah.
Doorstep.
Curia, and then you're him with these guys. So I'm like, I'm going to sacrifice this guy.
I was going to say the him kind of works, right?
And then put 2 Amber on one of my non-token creatures.
Right.
And then when he dies, we're going to Curia.
The Sanctum plus Saurian meta here. It's him plus that artifact where they can't reap, plus Curia, Cleric. Yeah, let's go.
I mean, that artifact's not terrible once you see Cadet, because you're only now fighting 50% of the time, so you can only fight 50% of my clerics down, right? In theory.
Hey, like I said, every fight on a cleric is a reap that didn't happen. I'm generally in favor of it.
Yeah, I think this will be good for sealed, because just that much
amber control
and sealed can be quite good.
Yeah,
I'm less sure about Archon unless there is some of these combos.
Yeah. Yep. Let's move to Cadet. It is your Star Alliance token.
We're skipping Knight.
We already did Knight. I know we've done Knight before.
Kind of talked about Knight. Okay.
Yeah, Knight. Yeah, if you missed it, I know we've talked about him. He's 2 power, 1 armor, Sanctum token.
But he has the Knight ability, so we're interested to see how many Sanctum Knight effects show up in the set.
Epic Quest. Oh, no.
The Call to Arms with a bunch of Knight tokens. Yes, please.
Mm-hmm. But Cadet, he is a 1 power Star Alliance token. When he is destroyed, ward Cadet's most powerful neighbor. Anybody check out the art on this one? And get it?
Red shirt
the red shirt? Okay. Yeah. He's a red shirt, yeah. And then the black ooze in the background. They gave it eyes, but...
So, does this not seem like a pretty good card? Seems like a pretty good card.
I like it. I'm not mad at it.
I don't like it. I think it's one of the worst tokens.
I mean...
I don't think you're valuing Miscellaneous Ward high enough.
Yeah.
But like, if they, let's say they go into their turn and they play Poison Wave, they all die. None of them get warded.
Yes, it's not great against board wipes, for sure. But
hold on.
Okay,
no,
I can see
even if a board rape might destroy. Oh, I guess they could destroy my creatures before they can.
We learned this in DT with.
That's true. You're right.
Egad. Yeah, like it just doesn't work. Like.
So it's
right.
It's incidental deaths. Okay, so Cadet, going back to our him, really good. Now they kill themselves, ward a neighbor, and put 2 amber on them. They'll be good.
Yeah. I think there are going to be games where they do win the game, but I think their ultimate value is super nerfed by just the timing rules of Destroyed.
Yeah, because otherwise you're basically having to fight with them to get them to trigger when you want them to.
Yeah.
Or using your own damage pips to kill them if you have some.
And we've already talked about Kerwallop meta. Kerwallops are coming, guys.
Yeah. Kerwallop is okay.
Let's move to Stir Crazy. We're getting really long in the tooth here. Stir Crazy. Get a Pip of Ember every time you play it. If you so happen to be playing the fish, I would probably not recommend it, but here we are. Play. Each ready creature captures 1 ember from its opponent. It's actually not horrid, I guess.
Basically,
sounds awful.
Yeah, it's Pandemonium. Just you have no control over
Yeah, but stuff. All the creatures you just played, like Pandemonium's good when you're like, I just played 4 fresh creatures, so I get to capture and all yours are damaged. Haha, good job me. This one's like, I just played 4 creatures and you still capture all the amber. Yeah. This is like that other. Didn't we look at another card that had crappy capture effects out of Sanctum?
It's scaling Ember control.
No. This will not be classified as scaling Ember.
It's the best fish card we've seen.
No.
There's Adult Swim.
Oh yeah, Adult Swim.
This card is hot trash. Like this is gonna be a discard sometimes because the amber pip isn't worth them capturing all the amber.
This is like this. Well, remember you get that ember pip, and then they could possibly also capture that.
Yeah.
This reminds me of Worlds Collide Brobnar. Like you literally have to have a game state already, and if you play it against that game state, it doesn't do anything, or it helps your opponent more than you.
Perfect. Yeah, then we can move on, right?
I'm hoping the blur on this means we have read it long, because this card is real blurry, and I'm just gonna hope it's wrong. Because this is another one, as Zia said, is like, fix this card before you print this set.
Yeah, just remove, I don't even know how to change this. It sucks.
Just take out ready. Just take out ready. Just each creature.
Put something else
each exhausted creature would be better.
Yes, because then it's just you. Potentially, it could be them if.
And then it's fish, and you have some weird ability to exhaust extra things for something fun, maybe? But no, garbage.
All right, let's go to Watch Your Step. More unfathomable. You do get a Pip of Ember every time you play it. Play it. Choose a house on your opponent's identity card. If they do not choose this house as their active house during their next turn, make 2 token creatures and ready them.
So how is this not just a nearly worthless card? I was trying to defend this against Nova.
It's a really
it's bad.
It's really bad control the week.
But it doesn't control them because you're like, okay, so you get 2 tokens. Do I even care?
Maybe.
They're ready.
Maybe. Like, maybe they have Amberlines and you're like, oh, can't give them 2 more Amber.
And the funny thing is,
the fish suck. They're so bad.
Your opponent would choose where the tokens go in your battle line.
Yep, that happened. Yeah.
Well,
they are the active player because that happens during their turn. And so if you have the disciple, they can actually put them next to not monks.
Oh, and this one even specifically says on their card.
Yeah, so this would not work with what you said earlier.
Yeah, when I was trying to give them a crappy creature. This card is just like, it's an Amber Pip, right? So that's what makes it okay. But like, you play it and they do or don't give you 2 tokens.
I really think.
To be fair, though, you probably... Oh, all right. Let's look this in a different way. I read the argument that you two, and I do think you lost the argument, but I think she's wrong in this way. I think this card, more than any other iteration of this card, either Control the Weak or Delusions of Grandeur, they do go and play that house. All right? Let's say that's even 67% of the time. So, like, most of the time, you probably are making 2 tokens here. So, what would be the value of a card that gained an Amber Pip and made 2 tokens? Because that's what this is going to do most of the time.
Yeah, decently
right?
good.
Like, I think that's just what happens. Like, most of the time, you're going to get an Amber Pip and you're going to make 2 tokens. So I think, in the scheme of things, this is actually an above-average card. We just need to stop looking at it and thinking it's Control the Weak. Because it is not going to affect their house choice.
If they do not choose this as their active house, make 2 tokens. So you pick the house you think they don't want to play.
Like normal.
No, usually, like, Control the Weak, you pick the house they do want to play. Oh, yeah, you pick the house that, yes, they don't want to play, yes.
Yeah, the decision-making on your end is you still play it like it's Control the Weak. You're just going to get 2 tokens every time. So, like, you're effectively, this is a card, gives you a pip and 2 tokens. That's what it does.
Maybe 2 tokens.
Most of the time.
But we'll have to play it some to find out.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Like, I don't think people are going to, unless your freaking token is Amberling, is this going to, like, sway them enough to not pick that house? Because, like, no one's going to want to get turn skipped and, like, not give you 2 tokens because they're turn skipped, right? Like, that's the scenario.
Well, I play Cleric and then I capture 2 before you forge your key, right? No.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh no,
you forge a key first.
You forged before this.
Forge first. All right, sorry. I was trying.
This one, and it's the same thing that made the stupid Dino Trojan Horse card bad, is that I definitely go, I don't care because I know I have a board wipe this turn. It's like, have 2 tokens, I'm going to clear them. Same thing with that stupid Trojan Horse. Like, oh yeah, play all your creatures. Oh, I killed them all. Good job, me.
Can we make the fish good?
GG, if your token is Prospector, it gets a lot better, but we said that about everything.
Yeah, I mean, token makes... Prospector makes everything better.
Everything's better with Prospector.
Can we just not make the fish suck? Can you just send all the fish cards to archonscorner@gmail.com and we'll just make them better?
I think it really would have had to be 3 tokens.
Okay, sheep
for them to get the effect that they wanted.
Just 3?
3 tokens is a lot. Like, unless, like Sheep said,
right?
Unless you had, because they're ready, you could immediately go into the house and reap for 3, just like Allure would have done, like with the 3 Amber.
Yeah, they're ready, but those tokens don't get made until their turn. So who cares if they're ready?
Well, it means when you call your house, they're ready.
Otherwise, if you use them, yay.
Yeah, otherwise,
if they survive the turn.
Tokens, Yeah. Well, yeah, that's of course.
I
Tokens
mean,
always have to survive the turn for you to use them.
yes, I don't know. And
This
I want
card is
the-
bad.
I want the fish to be so good, and they have not gotten anything that's like, oh, the fish will be good this set.
Well, let's see if sunk costs fix them.
All right, sunk cost, more fish. It is an action card. Play, choose a house. Your opponent discards a random card from their hand. If that card belongs to the chosen house, make a token creature.
Does not have Amber Pip. Most important thing to say here.
No.
Yeah, so like this is like a crappy version of Mindfire
and Mind Barb. Like this is the worst iteration of random from hand discard that we've seen.
Well, it's still good against you.
Yes, unless you're playing me, and then as long as it says the word discard at random, you're going to beat me. But especially on TCO, my goodness. But yeah, like we've seen a lot of cards that discard cards at random from their opponent. Let's say a lot. It's probably like less than 10, but still, we've seen iterations of this. This is the worst one by a lot.
Yeah.
The one thing with choose a house though is it's easier to count and increase your odds for this card to hit than with the like Mind Barb was just totally random, but you get the Amber Pip, which I would trade this card for Mind Barb.
Yep,
I think. And then
I love tokens.
I'm noticing a pattern here with the fish. They get shittier versions of every other house's card.
You're right. They're
like, hey, we're gonna
cards and they're bad.
We're gonna remake all the good cards, and we're gonna give them to the fish, but we're gonna make sure they suck.
So they took Saurians and they said, let's take all the good part of Sanctum and the good part of Brobnar and put it in one house. And then with the fish, they said, well, Dis was too good, so let's just make bad Dis.
Yes, they're bad Dis. That's exactly what they are.
They've been Dis.
I mean, it's just, I have not, I mean, Dark Tidings was really rough. I was excited for the new house.
There's at least some stuff in there that works. I haven't seen a damned thing in this set that makes me want to have a fish in my deck.
Yeah, like we don't know
their world's cried Brobnaring so far.
I was gonna say, is this WC Brobnar bad?
Well, let's hope we're wrong.
I still think Sanctum's worse than them right now.
No, Sanctum has some good tokens.
Sanctum has at least some plays where you're like, oh, I hope I see these cards. I mean,
we have only seen 2 of their tokens so far,
right? And then when
they both suck.
When you're like, hey, I hope I don't see any of these. I hope I don't see a whole house. Like when we went to Indianapolis, I what did I tell you? I even said before I even started, if it has dinosaurs, if it has Star Alliance, I'm good. If it has Worlds Collide Brobnar, I'm just throwing it away. It's not even in my option.
And you got 3 Brobnar decks, so
I got 2 Brobnar
all
decks.
the tokens for Sanctum.
No, he had a fun deck.
I had a real fun
double Val.
No, I had a double leader. It was Val and Saurus Rex.
Yeah,
so it comboed pretty well. It wasn't horrible. I mean, it wasn't top tier meta, but it was pretty fun.
All I'm saying is at this point, I hope that the next set, maybe they just cycle Unfathomable out and we forget they ever existed.
I want them to be out and never come back. And like I said it in one of the big discussions once, like for them to be viable from what we've seen now, where they're coming from in Dark Tidings, like they would have had to had the most drastic increase power jump from what they were in Dark Tidings to this set to even be competitively viable. It'd be like, I don't know. I have no idea what the leap was because
they're the only new house that hasn't just like came out with a bang. Like all the Aquadon cards seem really, really good.
Yep, Aquadon seems good so far.
When Saurian and Star Alliance first came out, it was like, wow, these houses could be very well busted. And they were, you know, I mean, Star Alliance still, I mean, is there ever a time where you're like, oh, Star Alliance, no matter what set you're playing with them right now?
Yeah, they're always good. They're never like the best house in the set. They are always good though.
But they always play nice with the other houses. Typically.
No, they can be bad.
They can be bad, but they typically play nice with the other houses.
There's some bad builds in MM.
Yeah,
everyone can be bad though. That's
right.
But like,
I mean,
stupid guy who swaps position.
Tank.
And you get 4 freaking tanks.
Stealthster's not horrible, but it really depends.
Well, it is when you have 4 tinks who are already elusive.
Yeah, that's
4 tinks, 4 stealthsters. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's. Yeah, but. Oh man,
I think that's it, though, right?
That's it for spoilers. What I'm hoping for is that Christian Peterson just shows up at Kansas City and is like, "Hey guys, I brought you all the all the winds of its change that you guys could handle. We brought, like a case of it, and that's what you guys are going to use for sealed. I know it's not going to happen, but I can dream.
I wouldn't sleep.
On another side of things, like they're still tweaking stuff. Like maybe they could just remove Unfathomable now.
we can put shadows back in.
I mean, let's go.
I'll take shadows any day.
Like what? I want to see the Sky Pirates. Let's bring them.
Yeah, I dig them. I'm actually more excited for the new
Grim Reapers,
the Grim Reaper dudes. I don't know what their house is going to be called, but this is the first time where I was like, ooh, that Keyforge Adventures doesn't seem to suck. I actually might play it. So that's everything we got for this week. So that's going to do it for this week. Again, we're going super long on these episodes, but that's going to do it for us this week. Hopefully I'll have this up, obviously, before we head to Kansas City. So, but if you're coming to Kansas City, we'll all be there. Sheep will be taking pictures. So he'll be the grumpy one in the corner.
I don't know how to use a camera.
Well, that's okay. They do.
Okay.
Yeah, just Sheep.
Oh, you'll be taking pictures of me.
No. You'll be you're our delegate for the weekend.
I'm confused. Am I carrying the camera?
Don't worry about it.
Or am I the model?
Just you're the model.
Okay.
Make sure you to bring your own marker.
Yes.
For the signing.
For the signing of Sheep's butt. It's going to be an interesting Monday morning when you walk in and you're just covered in Sharpie. What's that? Don't worry about it. But that's going to be it for this week. Any final thoughts or anything we missed before we head out? I'll take that as a no.
Yay, Keyforge.
Play Keyforge.
GG Unfathomable is a sunk cost. Just can it and put something else there.
All this stuff reeks of FFG2. It all reeks of just, you can see their fingerprints all over it. Somebody really hated the fish.
Really? Because they're so all about, like, because the fish go right along with the Cthulhu kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And they're like, I felt like we got Unfathomable because somebody, when Asmodee took over, they're like, well, FFG, you are now the Cthulhu house. Everything you do must have a Cthulhu theme, or you can't make it.
And that would be fine. Just don't make it suck.
Yeah.
Because
maybe they were angry because they were forced to Cthulhuize everything.
But weird story. Like, Cthulhu is not a trademarked IP, believe that or not. You could make Cthulhu and not have to pay anybody royalties.
Well, all the Lovecraft stuff is now public domain.
Yeah, it's public domain.
It's old enough, yeah.
Weird. I wonder why
That's
we got
why
a fish
Cthulhu
house.
suddenly.
Well, now you know why they were told to work with it, because it cost them
nothing. Mm-hmm. Not a thing.
Well, they got what they paid for.
They sure did. And unfortunately, when I spend my $12.99 and get the fish, I won't be getting what I paid for. But that's going to do it for us.
Maybe if they're really that bad, we can start a campaign of, instead of mailing them fireballs, we will mail them open cans of sardines.
Maybe. Just throw squids on the floor.
Yep.
Like they do
Squid
at
launcher.
Hockey games. Just throw squids and octopus out. But thanks everybody for listening. Super long episode this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget, you can join our Patreon over at archonscorner.com. Patreon.com/Archons Corner. Make sure you follow us on all the social medias, Twitter, Facebook. Check out the YouTube channel. Got some fun fire sale frenzy stuff going on over there. And then check out the Patreons where you get all that for free. I have not made, somebody is messaging me, and I already know I've gotten a few messages on it. No, the tokens aren't ready. I'm awaiting the paper. It's on back order. I have to use a special kind of paper because of my inkjet printer. So they will not be completed before Kansas City. I'm sorry.
Oh,
yeah. It turns out you can't just use any foil paper. You got to use a specific type of foil paper. So learned that lesson the hard way. So thank you guys so much. We'll see y'all next week.